therapies.
I'm glad you brought up the vaccines, because that's definitely something, everyone is focused on, especially as we know the deadline is coming to get some of those interim results and first looks at the data. I wonder about the effectiveness. That's something that has been a topic of conversation, and I've heard a broad range of commentary from, it will block the virus entirely to it will simply diminish, the most severe cases. And if anyone experiences the virus, it will actually just be a sort of a milder version. So based on what you know right now and what you're seeing, do you anticipate that the first sets of vaccines out the door will be more of a less effective blocker of the virus?
Well, that's a great question, and that's the primary endpoint of most of the virus, is to prevent clinical disease, to prevent symptomatic disease, not necessarily to prevent infection. That's a secondary endpoint. But the primary thing you want to do is that if people get infected, prevent them from getting sick. And if you prevent them from getting sick, you will ultimately prevent them from getting seriously ill. So that's what we want to do. The first point, which we call a primary endpoint, is that if the vaccine also allows you to prevent initial infection, that would be great. But what I would settle for, and all of my colleagues would settle for, is the primary endpoint to prevent clinically recognizable disease. And that's what we hope happens. And if we do, that will go a long way to diffusing this very difficult crisis that we're in.